Good evening. Welcome to another edition of Sci-Fi Journal presented by the Rhode Island Science Fiction Club. This show is for July 2015. It's the future. I'm Marc Morisseau. Also hosting the show today are...
Calvin Watts III. I can see how this is going to go.
Jay Kingston.
All right. And James Hinsey is on assignment. He'll show up later on in the program. What? This month, my studio hat, because it's July and Independence Day and 4th of July and patriotism and all that stuff, it's Captain America. That's my hat for the month.
Actually, it's Captain America's shield, but I'm just nitpicking.
Yeah, you are, so shut up. Anyways, it's Captain America. Yay. All right, what do I want to do first? Let's do movie news. Movie news with Jay.
Because that's like what we always do.
We always do movie news.
So why are you asking?
I'm just asking. I'm trying to be a nice guy, but apparently it's not working. So let's do popcorn previews with Jay. Take it away, Jay. Why am I yelling?
Because you're an idiot.
Thank you. Why am I an idiot?
Because you were born French.
Anyway, go ahead. Because I'm from Woonsocket. Okay.
Right. And I apologize to the people from Woonsocket.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
I do.
You do not.
Not everybody from Woonsocket is stupid.
Anyway,
Just some.
are you done yet?
I just started.
Oh, well, it's an hour show.
Save me.
Hotel Transylvania 2
Blah, blah.
stars the voice talent of Adam Sandler
Right.
as Dracula.
Dracula.
Yes, it's rated PG-13, and the release date is going to be on September 25th. And it looks pretty funny. And as usual, CGI animation. So let's take a look.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I...
What? That's not how that one goes. What's wrong with suffer, suffer, scream in pain, blood is spilling from your brain?
Daddy.
Come on, you know how I sang it to you. Zombies gnaw you like a plum, piercing cries and you succumb. Still works. Ever since Johnny and Mavis had their little monster, I've been the happiest vampire in the world!
Are we sure he's a vampire?
Technically, you have until you're 5 to get your vampire fangs.
Oh, he'll get his fangs. He's just like me. Look at him.
Blah, blah, blah.
I don't say blah, blah, blah.
We've been talking about moving somewhere safer for Dennis.
But then I'll be all alone.
Dad, don't give me the pouty bat face.
We gotta teach this kid how to be a monster.
Wow.
If we get his fangs to come out, Mavis can't leave. Robbie, you okay out there? He's fine. He's blobby. Okay, Murray, show him how to be scary. Ow! My back. For real?
We're so happy you came to visit.
I love California. 48 flavors. This place is open all night. Right, sir?
Yes. He's gonna wanna move. I gotta fix this kid now. How are we doing?
Oh, he's adorable.
How cute.
You know who could fix the kid in a snap? Vlad.
Hi, Dad. Are we ready to do this? Guys, we're running out of time. I'm sorry, Blobby. We really meant to call you sooner. Okay, fellas, plan B.
Coming through.
Happen on. Hit it. Are you kidding me?
Well, how'd that look?
Looks good.
You like it?
PG-13. That should be interesting.
Looks like CG
for,
animation.
for an animated movie.
I haven't even seen Hotel Transylvania 1.
You know what? I haven't seen it either.
I believe it's PG-13.
Okay.
So
So you might be lying to the public.
I'm not lying. I said I believe.
Oh, okay. You're exaggerating. All right.
Kind of like the X-Files, you want to believe.
I know. That's
Minions
Minions.
star the voice talents of Sandra Bullock, John Hamm, and Michael Keaton, and tell the story of the Minions from the very beginning. Apparently, the Minions have been here longer than we have. They've been on the Earth.
Yep.
And they're constantly in search for the biggest, baddest person to be the minions of. So they're always looking for a supervillain to be in, have them be in charge of. And this time around, they run into Scarlet, and the comedy ensues. It looks very funny. And this one we also believe is PG-13, although we could be wrong. It may be PG. So the release date on that is the 11th of July. So that's, as we are filming this, it's going to be out a month from now. Let's take a look.
Minions. Minions have been on this planet far longer than we have. They go by many names. Dave, Carl. Oh, that one is Norbert. He's an idiot. They all share the same goal. To serve the most despicable master around.
C'est le Big Boss. C'est la banana. Miam, miam. Aïe, aïe, aïe.
Finding a master was easy. Keeping a master, that's where things got tricky.
Oh.
But nonetheless, they kept on looking.
Balatopa. Okay. Pancake. Oh. Oh.
Without a master, they had no purpose. They became aimless and depressed. If this went on much longer, they would surely perish.
But then one minion stepped forward.
Kevin felt pride. He was going to be the one to find his tribe the biggest, baddest villain to serve. Stuart felt hungry, mostly. He was going to be the one to eat this banana. And Bob was frightened of the journey ahead.
Les bidous?
Matoka.
Polano la matoka. Hein? Banana? Stuart? Banana. Banana! Stop pas! Bob, stop pas! Oh, hello, papagena. Tu le bella con la papaya.
That looks funny.
That looks very funny.
Despicable Me was funny mainly because of the Minions. So
Right.
yeah, looking forward to this.
Yeah. And
yeah.
kids
God.
love the Minions.
Oh, God, yeah.
They do.
They really do. Yep. And last but not least, we've got the Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2,
Yep.
which is the fourth installment of the series for the movies and the final installment. It stars Jennifer Lawrence and Donald Sutherland. It is rated PG-13. I don't know why I've got PD-13, but it's rated PG-13.
All right.
And the release date is November 20th. And this looks really good.
Yes, it does.
It looks very dynamic.
Right.
So let's take a look at that.
Nothing good is safe while Snow's alive. And I can't make another speech about it. Snow has to pay for what he's done.
One way or another, this war is going to come to an end. There's only one thing you could do now to add more fire to this rebellion.
We all have one enemy. He corrupts everyone and everything. He turns the best of us against each other. Tonight, turn your weapons to the Capitol.
Oh, my dear Miss Everdeen. Make no mistake. The game doesn't live up.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 76th Hunger Games.
Well, the reason why it looks really dynamic is the fact that the first movie, Mockingjay Part 1, was so freaking boring.
Did you really? You thought it was boring? Okay.
Well, it was all set up because since they split the last book into two movies, the first half of the book is all set up. You had what, literally like 7 minutes worth of action?
Right.
So all the good stuff happens here.
At the last movie, right.
It's kind of like Deathly Hallows. You know, for the most part, that was all. The first movie was all set up. It was good, but it was all set up. And then the second movie, all action.
Have you bought Mockingjay Part 1 on DVD?
No, actually, I haven't.
See, I haven't either. I'm probably going to wait until this second movie comes out.
Because they'll probably come out with like a double box set or something.
So I'm going to do it that way.
No, I've got it.
Okay.
So,
I'm not knocking
Mm.
it by any chance, but to me, so far, it was easily the weakest of the three. But the whole series as a whole is excellent.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Good.
So, that's what I've got for popcorn previews for the month of July.
Great. Intro Calvin, please.
Okay. Throughout history, there have been many, many great segments to Sci-Fi Journal.
Yes, such as?
Ever since we started way back in the 40s.
In the 40s.
In the 40s?
And
that wasn't even
no, in the
around.
30s. In the 30s.
In the
before TV, because we all have a face for radio.
That's right.
Actually, TV started in 1936.
I know,
Just saying.
I know. Go ahead.
Back when Nikola Tesla first used to broadcast our show via special electronic device.
Edison, that bastard. Go ahead.
There have been segments that have always stood out as dynamic, unique, and one of a kind. Calvin's is not that segment.
But we'll have him do it
But we'll have him do it anyway. So take it away, Calvin, with Game Over.
That's it, man. It's game over, man. It's game over.
You know what? It might not be that segment, but it's better than the rest of yours put together.
All right, what you got?
It seems like it's been forever since I've been sitting here at this desk.
Well, it takes you
about
forever
stuff.
to get to the studio, so one thing at a time.
Hey, you know, the divas have to arrive late.
The divas. You live like 10 minutes from the studio in the last 20 years.
That is
the last 20 years, you're always the last one to show up. WTF. Go ahead.
So since it's been a while, there's a lot of stuff available on home media, including some really cool titles. So I'm going to go through those really quick. Battlestar Galactica, the definitive edition. Mainly for Brian in the booth. Brian, this is for you. So this is basically the original series from the 70s, along with Galactica 1980, put together in for the first time on Blu-ray, completely remastered.
Galactica 1980.
I don't really care about Galactica 1980, but it's in
one
here.
Good episode.
I agree with you, but the original series is in there too. That's what makes this great.
Right.
Anyways, that's available. The fantasy movie Seventh Son, which bombed earlier this year, that's available on home movie, along with the Wachowski brothers' latest epic, Jupiter Ascending, which was not bad.
I never saw that.
Falling Skies Season 4, they're getting ready to do the final season of Falling Skies this summer, so that is out. A very, really cool cult classic called Wolfen from the early 80s.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yep, that's available for the first time on Blu-ray.
Okay.
Yep.
Kingsman Secret Service. That was an excellent, excellent movie. I cannot emphasize it enough. A really fun take on the spy genre.
Some people really liked it, and some people really hated it.
And I can see that, but to me, we fall into the category of my family and I really liking it, and I'll be buying it probably today. The Last Ship, Season 1, is out. Season 2 starts. I'm sure you'll probably be talking about that. Excellent, excellent series on TNT. So Season 1 is available for your perusal. Thunderbirds, the complete series from Jerry Anderson, one of the classic Supermarionation TV shows. Really, really cool. Neil Blomkamp's, I'm probably, butchering that, but whatever. His latest effort, Chappie, is also available, as well as The Lazarus Effect, which was the pseudo-horror movie about, somebody dying and then bringing them back to life with the side effects.
Okay.
So, July, there's not really a whole lot of stuff going on, but we do have a couple of notable releases. On the 7th of July, the cult classic Robot Jocks, which came out in the late 80s. So anybody who was a fan of Shogun Warriors, this is basically an attempt at a live-action giant robot movie starring Gary Graham. So definitely worth checking out. On the 14th, geeks will love this, and I will be definitely picking this up. It's X-Men Days of Future Past, the Rogue Cut. So this is basically Bryan Singer's director's cut with, I think there's like almost 20 minutes of footage put back in, including like the scenes with like Rogue that get exercised completely from the movie. So whether or not it makes it a whole different movie, it's hard to say, but there's going to be a lot of extra features and stuff in there, so I'm looking forward to that. And on the 28th, the next Justice League, or the DC animated movie will be out, Justice League Gods and Monsters, which is a totally different take on the Justice League. That looks really, really good. So, a lot of stuff for you to check out. Gaming news. Ian Kingston is on camera right now, so I'm going to see his head, and I'm just going to look at him and say, I can't remember the last time there was an E3 that was this cool.
Right.
It is a really, really good time to be a gamer. And I'm going to start out with my geek out moment. Freely, totally admit this. For years, outside of Rock Band and pinball and, like Halo, the one game that I constantly raved over was the Fallout series.
Right.
Loved Fallout 3, loved Fallout New Vegas. We've had nothing about Fallout 4 for like ever.
Did you ever play the original one? I have the original one.
No, but I've wanted to. I'll probably end up getting it on Steam someday. Anyways, like a week and a half before E3, Bethesda just comes out with this trailer, please stand by, and then a day later, there's this.
We do have coming in confirmed reports of nuclear detonations. My God. Our soldiers were right. War never changes.
Let's go, pal.
And so the rumors are true. Fallout 4 is coming. It's set in Boston, which they've been talking about for ages. So there's a good chance you might have some locales here in Rhode Island. And the only thing that I would say that I kept saying, but I also said, there's no way in hell. There's no way, there's no way, there's no way. The only thing that would really make me geek out other than announcing Fallout 4 would be Fallout 4 this year. But it was so long between like the other Fallouts, there was just no way. But apparently they've been working on Fallout 4 since Fallout 3 back in like 2008. And guess what? This year.
Nice.
November 10th. I am so geeked.
This is what Calvin's going to be.
I already pre-ordered the Pip-Boy edition.
Yep.
I'll have to work really hard to get that, which is
oh
like...
Oh my, does it come with the...
Yeah, it's an actual thing that you can wear, and it opens up, and you can put your smartphone in it, and it'll act like a Pip-Boy. You can use it within the game. Yes, it's cool. Really geeky. It's already sold out.
It weighs like 35 pounds.
I have no idea, but I'm all over that, and we'll talk about more of that and the upcoming things. Now, if Fallout wasn't bad enough, Rock Band 4 has a release date.
Okay.
October 6th. They are going to be able to get the legacy instruments, meaning your old instruments will work on both the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. PlayStation 4, you don't need to do anything else. Xbox One, you need to buy like a little dongle attachment. They announced a couple of more songs. There's going to be a lot of features going on, a lot of really cool stuff. More info on that as it comes along.
Good.
I can't even get to half of like the E3 stuff today.
Yeah, it was
so,
pretty
but
neat.
I'm going through just like a couple of big things. Destiny, still been playing Destiny here and there. The first really big expansion is called The Taken King. It's going to be coming out in September. We kind of talked about that a few months ago. They were talking about like a really big expansion.
Yep.
And this is going to be it. It's going to star Oryx, which is Croach's dad, who's really kind of mad that his son got killed by you. And so for people who already own Destiny, it's going to be a fairly decent expansion. It's not going to be the price of a full game, but it's going to be fairly close.
Yep.
For those of you who don't own Destiny, for like a collector's edition price, you can get that along with like everything that's been previously released.
Destiny.
And that's like September 15th, I believe.
Cool.
Now, if all that doesn't take your fancy, Star Wars Battlefront.
Yes.
If you wanted to play a Star Wars movie, this is how good this looks.
I remember Star Wars Battlefront for the original Xbox. A lot of fun.
So here's a little bit of footage here to show you what I'm talking about.
Rebels have activated the uplink. Move on that position.
Rebels just lost their uplink.
Go in for the takedown!
Almost there.
Imperial Walker has been taken out.
Rebel Y-Wings are making their attack run.
I can't hold it, I'm going down!
The Walker is exposed. Take it out.
PlayStation.
So the footage that we just showed was from Hoth, and it just looks awesome.
That's sweet stuff. It really is.
With EA and DICE, and they know their multiplayer stuff, I really, really hope that this is as good as it looks. That comes out on the 17th. I mean, there's just so much stuff going on. A couple of other quick things, and we'll talk a lot more about this in the upcoming months. Xbox One's really big news is that it's going to be backwards compatible.
360
Kind of like what the 360 did with the original Xbox. They were able to emulate the 360 architecture on the One. You'll be able to play online. It's just like having an emulated 360.
All right.
And potentially every 360 game outside of games that need peripherals, meaning if it needs like a flight stick or if it needs to connect, it won't work. Your Rock Band games, Guitar Hero games, they won't work either. Although Rock Band, there might be a caveat there because, or caveat, I don't know how I say it.
Caveat.
Caveat, thank you.
You're welcome.
Because they are going to be able to use those instruments in Rock Band 4.
All right.
But
now, what makes it backwards compatible? Is it going to be a patch, or is it going to be every Xbox One produced from this date
nope,
on?
it'll be a patch. So it'll be from the beginning. If you're in the Xbox One preview program, there's a list of games that are actually available now. It's going to roll out at holiday season. And basically what will happen is if it's available on the list that they provide, and they're talking about doing as many games as they can, if you have a physical copy of the game, you just put it into your Xbox One, it'll read the disc and it'll download that version of it online. If you own it digitally, it'll just appear in like your queue when it's available, and you'll be able to download it at your leisure.
I'll bet you all the video game shops are happy about that.
So that was like a really big deal, and they did emphasize that it's not going to cost anything extra, unlike Sony's streaming service.
Right.
So there was that. Halo 5, there was a lot of news about Halo 5, so we'll be talking about that in upcoming months. They've done a Gears of War remaster called Gears of War The Ultimate Edition. That'll be coming out this summer. And Gears of War 4 was announced for like next Christmas time, so meaning 2016.
I can see Ian nodding. Yes.
Yeah.
Rare is doing something really cool called Rare Replay, which is they're the people behind GoldenEye and RC Chromium and Battletoads and Conker's Bad Fur Day. A lot of really cool classic games, and I'm going to take 30 of those games that they own the IP rights to, put it in one collection for a really cheap price. It basically works out to like $1 a game, and it'll be on the Xbox One this August. Really, really looking forward to that.
Nice.
Sony's really big announcement was The Last Guardian, which has been in limbo for like forever. It's been rumored. It's basically the final game in the trilogy started by Ico and Shadow of the Colossus. That should be coming out next year. They showed some gameplay footage. It was really vague, but people were like really geeking out for it. There's just so much more I haven't even touched, like Microsoft HoloLens and Project Morpheus. It's just E3 was like really big. I mean, you can check out a bunch of stuff online, but we'll be in future episodes be going back and forth and talking about that. Not the least of which, Batman Arkham Knight is now available as we speak. It's gotten really good reviews. It's going to be Rockstar's last Batman game, and people are saying what a way to go out. It's getting a lot of 10s. Some people even talking about it as the best next-gen or this-gen console game to date.
That Batman game has the best Batmobile ever. So it really does.
So I plan on having it in my hands next week, and there'll be a mini review in upcoming episodes while I'm messing around with Pintastic New England.
Right.
July 10th and 11th. So as you're seeing this, if you don't have your tickets yet, you better get them quick.
As you're seeing this, it's already happened.
Well, maybe if you watch it at the beginning, but yeah, but otherwise, yes, it's happening as you're watching this. I'm really looking forward to it. It's a 2-day event up in Sturbridge, Mass. PintasticNewEngland.com. Really, really looking forward to it.
Good.
And last but not least, to go along with it, they released on the Pinball Arcade one of my favorite all-time pinball tables called Roadshow, which was like really, really cool back during my trucking days.
Truckin'.
Exactly. It's what a Williams Super Pin series, so it has like a wide body. And if you ever played the Funhouse pinball table, it has the talking heads.
Yep.
Well, this one was basically based on a road construction theme. But what was really cool about it is that it covered like the entire country. And so when I was a trucking person, a lot of the cities that you go visit in the game, or a lot of the states, had like people who drive for a living could understand and would really laugh. Like when you were in Chicago, you had to get through the toll roads, and the toll roads in Chicago are absolutely crazy. So there's that. If you're in Ohio, getting chased by the police, because Ohio's basically known for its speed traps. Excellent, excellent game. And we'll just have a ton of other stuff coming out in the months to come, and that's all I have.
Nice.
So now we're going to go into what normally would be like the death of this segment, but summertime really is come alive with a bunch of its own stuff. But anyways, looking forward to this. Toob News with Marc Morisseau. Take it away, Marc.
Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of good summer stuff.
There is.
I'm surprised. Summer's turned into a really nice time for TV. So let's get started. Some of these shows have started at the end of June, so they've already started airing as we air this show. But Atlantis returns for season 3 on BBC America on Saturday, June 27th at 9 p.m. If you're an Atlantis fan, good program. Humans is a show on AMC which started Sunday, June 28th at 9 p.m. It's an 8-part series. It's set in what they call a parallel present, where the latest must-have gadget for any busy family is a synth, a highly developed robot. Could be male, could be female. And it's eerily similar to its live counterpart. So there's one guy, in the hopes of bringing this family together, he purchases a synth without telling his wife about it and introduces it into the household, and trouble ensues. But it's also, it follows like 4 different families who have bought these synths, or these humans, and how they interact with them and how they affect their lives and so forth. So interesting stuff on AMC. The same people that brought us Walking Dead has started that show. You mentioned Falling Skies. Falling Skies returns for its 5th and final season on Sunday, June 28th, 10 p.m. on TNT. So nice way. And my understanding is that they're going to wrap up all the storylines.
Excellent.
So they're not going to leave anything hanging. You know, this might be
because they've known for a while this is going to be their last season, so they'll have ample time to do it.
Are you guys ready for Sharknado 3?
No.
Which arrives Wednesday, July 22nd, 9 p.m. on the Sci-Fi Channel. All those B or C or D list celebrities, or so-called celebrity wannabes that you really hate, They're all going to die in Sharknado 3. That in itself is it makes it worth watching.
I freely admit I have never seen Sharknado.
You've never seen it? They're a lot of fun.
They are fun.
Yeah, you just can't. If you go in there, let's just laugh for 2 hours. That's
You got to
all
get
have
yourself
to
a
do.
big bowl of popcorn.
Yeah.
And just sit there and laugh your butt off.
Put your brain in neutral and enjoy the ride. That's it. Face Off, if you're a big Face Off fan, returns July 29th at 9 p.m. for season 9 on the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh, it's 9 already?
It's nine seasons already.
Wow.
Yeah, good show. Stitchers is a new series that airs Tuesdays at 9 p.m. on ABC Family. A couple of episodes have aired since we taped this. A young woman is recruited into a secret government agency to be stitched into the minds of a recently deceased, using their memories to investigate their murderers. So she's in like a little tank of water or whatever, and the recently deceased person is on the other side, and they have all these neural connectors, and somehow she's able to get into their final memories and like a 3D type thing, and is able to figure out how this person was.
Isn't she kind of unique? She was like one of the only people who can do this?
Yeah, they have you have to have a certain genotype or whatever in order to be able to qualify for the program. And one of the co-stars is Allison Scagliotti. She used to be on Warehouse 13. She was a young girl, the computer whiz from that show. She co-stars in it. I like that actress. So that's an interesting program. And then finally, The Strain returns for season 2 on FX starting July 12th at 10 p.m. That's a scary show. Holy cow. Gave me the heebie-jeebies.
Well, that's not easy.
That's not easy, no. Okay. But good program. So that's all I have this month for TV news, short and sweet. But yeah, a lot of good summer stuff. Teen Wolf has already started since we had this program. I said, Teen Wolf has already started. Give me a woo-woo. There we go. We're all excited about Teen Wolf. Good program. That's season 4, all right? No, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? All right, and that's all I have for TV news. James Hinsey is on assignment. He's up at Northeast Comic-Con. I'm sure he's got some wonderful stuff for us for Anime Daisuki. So go, James, go.
James here for Sci-Fi Journal, Anime Daisuki. I don't really have any anime this month because I was out on the location shoot for Northeast Comic-Con. I got some footage I'm going to show probably next month or so. But, you know, right now we have an interview that Brian did with an author named Robert Duerre. And he had shot this a couple months ago. So we're going to show this here for this month on Sci-Fi Journal. So here it is.
Okay, thank you very much, Sci-Fi Journal. And before I go any further, I would like to thank SEC TV, Southeastern Connecticut Cable, that is, for the use of the studio, the facilities in general. And so here I am with my guest writer here, none other than, how do you prefer to be called? Robert or Bob? How does it go?
Anything. I go by Bob, basically, Brian.
Okay, so it's Robert Duerre, okay?
Correct.
Okay. And, well, let's go start with the first question there, Bob. As a writer, what are your origins as a writer? I mean, your inspiration?
As far as inspirations, it depends upon what I'm working on. The story that was recently published last year began out in Durango, Colorado. And I found a gentleman who was retired from National Geographic, and he did these 8-week classes in Fort Lewis College. And it was basically adult continuing education. And each week he had a different subject that we had to write 250-word story, which is kind of tough to learn because you have to do it as a beginning, a middle, and an end. Mm-hmm. And what happened was, having taken it for a couple of years, there was this one particular scene that he wanted us to do was basically something to do with a castle. And the young lady in my story, originally in the first one, came up to and got up to the front door. The next time I took it from the front door and took it inside. And then the third one was a little further into the castle. And when I got back here and I found Nick Checker's class through Groton Parks and Rec, it started, he was only doing screenplays back then. And you being an actor have been there a couple of times helping
Yes,
him
I
out.
have.
And thank you very much. It's appreciated. Anyhow, I did this vampire story off of the screenplay the story that I was writing, and revised it to a modern day version so it could be filmed here in Connecticut, southeastern Connecticut.
Right.
And then Nick started a short story and novel writers series. And I started out taking that and modernizing it to this story, which then was, I sent it out to various markets to see if anybody would bite at it and wanted to do it. And I found this magazine. It was basically starting up, and it's called Disturbed Digest. And Disturbed Digest is part of Albane Lake Publishing out of Iowa. And I got lucky, and it was published in the second edition of Disturbed Digest last September.
Yeah. Now, getting back to One Cold Dark Night, I had a chance to look it over, and but let me ask you a question. Now, I mean, we have seen stories about vampires and various occult icons.
Right.
I mean, pardon the pun, they've been done to death.
Yeah.
But I always ask this for anybody who tries to do something, a new take on an old idea. What do you think is the originality of your idea? What's the special twist that your story has that would give in other words, make someone who has seen so many vampire stories want to read yours?
Okay, the hook that I have in mind, as my editor said in the beginning of the magazine, is that there's aliens underfoot. So I basically went back to Bram Stoker's Dracula. And even though I hadn't read it at that time, I started with back then because I liked the idea of the old castles and the people and how they dressed, and the Van Helsing type characters and the old clothing and everything like that. And that's where I took it. But I wanted to have that extra little twist because one of the things that they asked was they like to have something different in their stories. And one of the things is if you could sneak in an alien, that was even better. And that's what I did.
Now, I mean, did you just throw the alien in as a marketing tool, or did you feel it was something that had some good merit?
It was something that had good merit because the way the background of it is there is the actual individual. I'm not going to give away the characters, but one of them main characters is the vampire, and the other one is actually the hunter. And they start out in outer space, and they lose each other as it's chasing them across the galaxy, and they wind up coming to Earth back in the 1400s. And that's how the whole story begins back that time period.
Okay. So do you see yourself writing primarily like I said, once again, you want to try to get yourself out there, you want to sell stories,
Exactly.
or do you see yourself as having something, once again, a new twist on an old idea, and you feel that's what you want to push right now?
Exactly, which was what this was. And if I would ever turn this into a novel, then I would have a little bit more background, what took place in space, with the actual vampire hunter, what happened to him and his family, that sort of stuff, why he's chasing these people.
So if you, let's say you're in a producer's office and you've got a screenplay of this, if you had to condense this down to a one-line synopsis, 2-line synopsis, how would you sum this up?
This one, that's easy. Two strangers, bound by destiny, inevitably become allies in a crusade against evil. Says it all right there, Brian.
Seems pretty basic to me.
Yep.
One other thing I always ask any writer, how do you keep the inspiration flowing? It's easy to lose it sometimes, but how do you keep the writing muscle flexed?
Creativity. It never, I have been on the lucky side. I've never had what is known as writer's block, but I don't see as writer's block as being really a writer's block I might step away from what I'm doing for a while, but that's basically it.
Okay. Now, you said you had plans on adopting this into a novella?
A novella or a novel somewhere down the line after I become more published and out there and more books being published.
Now, what are other, I mean, do you have plans on any other stories at the moment? I mean,
Yes.
your plans
yes.
in general, what are
Yes.
they?
I have one right now that I'm working on with Nick, and it's known as Sharjik, and it's called The Younger Years. And it's about a young boy that's an alien, and he is one act of kindness changes his life and his future in ways that he has no idea about. And basically, it takes place in on a planet that's about 110 light years from Earth.
Exactly 110.
110, because if you look at the Big Dipper, you will see. Everybody thinks that there's 7 stars in the Big Dipper.
And they're all the same distance, right?
No, they're not. There's actually 8. And the 2 closest stars to Earth are actually the middle stars in the handle, which is actually a double. And they are the nearest and the closest. The rest of the stars in the bucket are all in that same range. Alcad, which is the 8th star, which is where mine is taking place, is at 110 light years. And it's basically not in the same plane.
Right.
Scientists put it out of the same region of space. So the characters out there they're Chardinians, and they are Bruin-like, but they are not grizzly bears. They're very large. They can stand anywhere from 8 to 10 feet in height, and upwards, the males can be up over 700 pounds.
Right.
And they have an unusual ability. They have the ability to use a Tesseract. And yes, you've heard the Tesseract thrown around. I've taken it a little bit further because...
Why don't you explain what a Tesseract is?
Tesseract, well, the word Tessera in Greek means the number 4. In Latin, it is actually a cube. So what I've taken is that cube, and I've actually changed the actual spelling of Tesseract a little bit. And what it is they have an ability to use this, which is like a Minushkin doll, which is the nesting dolls. But instead of the nesting dolls becoming smaller and smaller, all the cubes in the Tesseract are all one size. And what they can do is they can draw that Tesseract out, the inner cube, or whatever cubes they want from inside, pull it out and bring it around and connect it to any surface on the outside of the cube. And it allows them to either move forward or backwards in time through space and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So a new twist on time travel.
New twist on time travel. A lot more stable than a wormhole, but yet if you're an inexperienced, as I try to refer to it, driver of the Tesseract, you can be lost. And once you're lost in the Tesseract, you're lost forever, Brian.
Yeah.
So a little different twist, but I'm going to go through the life of Sharjik and what happens to him. And then I don't want to give away too much more because there's a series of steps here.
Wait for it to come out.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to add? In conclusion.
In conclusion, I hope everybody will look for my stories in the future, and hopefully they will enjoy everything that I've put out there.
Yep.
And Nick has a number of writers now that are in the class that I take that have been published.
Yeah. Now, since Nick Checker is greatly responsible for your current prowess as a writer, how suppose someone wants to join his class? How would they get in touch with him?
Through the Groton Parks and Rec.
Okay. There's a website they can get in touch with them?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Or if they're in Groton, they can go over past Fitch High School and over that way and sign up for it. The classes, depending upon whether you're a local or a resident, the prices change a little bit.
Right.
But it's Nick Checker, and it's a great little thing to
And he's a
begin with.
taskmaster.
And he's a taskmaster. Yes, he is. He pushes his people to become better at what they do, and which I have discovered, and I've major changes and major steps in what I've done since beginning in 2011 with him. I've found myself improving, my writing improving, and I love doing it.
Great. Hey, Bob. Hey.
Brian.
Best of luck.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, wonderful story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Again, Disturbed Digest, and it's no longer, well, they probably still have this magazine out there, and basically it's through them. If you go on to the internet, put on store.albanelake.com, and then you look for the second edition of Disturbed Digest. The magazine is $9, and that includes the mailing, I believe.
All right, Bob. Thanks a lot.
Brian,
and,
thank you again.
Hey, take it away, guys, in the studio, okay? See you later.
Bye for now.
All right, so that's it. Let's go back to the July show with Marc, Jay, and Calvin.
All right, and now it's time for toys, props, and other stuff, my precious. Ooh, I like that. Where our wonderful camera people points at things in the wonderful world of science fiction collectibles, and we speaks about them. Go ahead, what's up first? Yeah, sorry.
Okay, directly in front of you is The Flash, Season 1 on DVD.
Want to see it? Want to see it again?
This is not the version that was on the CW.
No.
This is the version that was on CBS back in 1990.
That's right.
Which was criminally underrated and really messed around by CBS, and it should have lasted a lot longer than it did.
But it was tons of fun.
But it was tons of fun, starring John Wesley Shipp, who is in the current Flash.
And Amanda Pays.
And Amanda Pays. Oh, and a bunch of other people have actually appeared in the new Flash TV series.
Yep.
This right now is the only way you can get it other than getting it digitally. I'm really hoping with the success of the Flash that they come back and revisit it, remaster it, and put it out on Blu-ray.
Right.
But it's a really cool series, definitely worth your time.
Yep.
Next to that is Nightwing from Batman Arkham City. I put this in because A, I'm a big Nightwing fan, and B, with Arkham Knight coming out, he's a playable character in the main storyline, which is like really, really cool.
That's neat. Right, talk about those action figures, dude.
Okay, those are my daughter Sarah's. They used to be mine. They're giant Alien and Predator figures. Back when Alien versus Predator was like the really big thing back in the mid to late 90s.
Okay.
I ended up picking this up for a song at a local store, and I passed them down to my daughter. I was gonna get rid of them because one of the arms had fallen off. My daughter's like, no, give them to me. I'll take care of them. And you know what she did? She fixed them, and she displays them proudly in her room.
Makes a science fiction dad proud.
Yes, it does.
Very nice. And next to that is issue number 1 of our new comic book, Providence, from Avatar Press, written by Alan Moore. Good writer. That's going to be a 12-issue series. Put it on your pull list, boys and girls, because this is awesome, awesome. If you are a fan of H.P. Lovecraft, you have to get this series. It's going to be wicked cool and groovy. Good stuff. Alan Moore is an awesome writer.
One of the best comic book writers
Yeah,
ever.
and it shines light on Providence and Rhode Island, so all the more reason for us to promote it. Good stuff. All right, now, any shout-outs or things that people want to give out this month? You got recognized at a muffler place of all things.
I did.
Right.
I was going to get my car fixed, and I walked in, and the person behind, I believe his name's Tony. I apologize.
Tony! How you
but
doing?
He's looking at me, he's like, I know you from somewhere. Where do I know you from? And I'm like, well, do you watch TV? And he's like, yes, that's it. And he's like, don't worry, I'm a Star Trek or Star Wars geek too.
Right.
And I was like, oh, that's awesome.
Nice.
And so that's Monroe Mufflers in the East Province. So people do actually watch. So there's a shout out to them. And thank you. My car sounds awesome.
Good. All right. Anything else, Jay? You got any shout outs?
No, not
Okay.
really.
All right, that's good. I don't
So,
have any. Go ahead.
Just Pintastic New England, I can't say it enough. This is going to be the first time ever of this show, or basically the biggest arcade put together in this region in like ever. So July 10th and 11th, hopefully I'll see you there. If you happen to go and you want to come by and say hello, I'll be roaming around the floor. stop by.
Yep.
I'll be glad to talk to you.
So Calvin will be at Pintastic, and then the rest of the crew is going to be at Connecticut in Hartford, Connecticut on July 11th. So
yeah,
you're
hopefully
watching
that'll
sometime.
go well. I mean, Nichelle Nichols, unfortunately, she had a mild stroke a couple
Right.
of weeks ago, but she seems to be doing okay. And as of right now, she's going to be still attending, so that'll be really cool.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm going to miss you guys.
Yeah, we'll miss you too, but we'll be fun. We'll get a lot of footage from both cons. It'll be a lot of fun.
Oh, we have a
Yep.
lot of stuff
Yep.
going
All
on.
right. As always, if you want to get in touch with us, our website is www.risfc.org. Check out our Facebook page. You can watch old episodes of Sci-Fi Journal on our YouTube channel. We have Twitter accounts. Our Twitter is @Sci-Fi Journal. If you want to tweet us, get back to us. Rhode Island Science Fiction Club during the summer. We get together a lot to go to the movies. So check our Facebook page and our websites. We always post movie meeting information. If you live in the Rhode Island, Massachusetts area, please join us. All right, that's going to be it for this July 2015 edition of Sci-Fi Journal. Thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in August. Ta-da!